streak has ended. Manchester United has tied 2-2 with Nottingham Forest at Nottingham Forest. And let's get straight into the game. It was a very good game. It was a very joyful game. It was a good game to watch. Like right now is halftime Chelsea Tottenham. Boring game. Tottenham are so boring. Chelsea are all right, have been all right this season, up and down. But Tottenham are so boring to watch. But back to Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. It was a very solid game, a very good game in my opinion. And let's start off with it was a pretty back and forth game throughout the whole 90 minutes, I believe. There wasn't a moment where I thought one team was dominating. There was no moments where I would see a shift way too much one side or too much to the other. I think it was a pretty even game. We got to give props to Nottingham Forest and Sean Dyche himself. This is his first home game. This is his first you can see like an imprint into what he's trying to do. And yeah, we've all been wondering how is Sean Dyche going to do with with better players and a better team, with a team that should be higher on the table. We're used to seeing him down battling out for a relegation, but I think we're going to be able to see a good Sean Dyche, and I think he showed a good man management. We saw good man management. After the second half, they came out bombing down the field to attack United. They were 2-1 by the 51st minute, I believe. It was a very good intensity that they entered with, and very poor from United. United has three center backs, and Amad Diallo was the one marking Morgan Gibbs White. Dallo was very soft on the ball. He just let them come. And overall, I think Dallo has been one of the weak points of this Man United team. Over the past couple of weeks, we've talked about Man United. We've talked about the center backs. We've talked about the midfield, who I'll get to just a second. The attack and Buemo Cunha. We'll talk about the striker in a bit. But I feel like everyone knows that Dallo has been that weak link in the team, and he kind of showed it today. He was weak on the press, on the intensity. He was really soft. Amad Diallo, he's my height probably. So Morgan Gibbs White, 6'1", gets a header on the ball, good header. I don't think Lamens could have done much. It was side netting, right, like 3 meters in front of him. So I think it was just a good goal by Nottingham Forest. And the second goal is the one that they score on you, so that's when you should okay, let's be a little bit more steady defensively. But they go on, get the second goal. And we all, in my head, I'm like, United will have a chance or two. But after that first half, in my head, I was like, will Sesko score it though? I want to talk about Benjamin Sesko. This guy had a really bad performance this game. Really bad performance. I'm one of those football fans that I will give you your flowers, but if you do something wrong, I will critique it as well. I like to see myself like an analyst, so like a YouTuber analyst. So I will be pretty harsh, but I will also back you to the death if you're doing well. So Benjamin Sesko, that first half was annoying to watch. It was so annoying to watch. Luke Shaw put a good pass to him. It was past his feet. And Buemo put one of the cleanest passes of the game to him. Bad first touch. And it's one of those things where I know he doesn't have a bad touch. I've seen him pass games, control it with his chest. I've seen him control the ball to his feet. But today was just terrible. That Mbuemo pass should have ended in a goal. It was such a perfect pass that any striker would want. And he had got the bad touch on it, and then he just stopped. The Luke Shaw pass, the one where Luke Shaw gets the ball, passes to Cunha, Cunha back to Shaw. Shaw gives a precise pass to Sesko, miscontrols it, attack done. I think this game was heavily relying on that. If Sesko scores those two, it's 3-0 by halftime, and United are comfortably again nearing a win. It would have been 4 consecutive games. And those are very critical chances for a striker. Especially that Mbuemo one, because he was through on goal, but it was a bad control, and then he had like his body was leaned back. He kind of like just let it go. He got the bad touch and just let it go. That Luke Shaw one, it just little things like that is what sometimes in past seasons would have cost United before. The bad touch on the striker, the run, but not able to control the ball. I know Benjamin Sesko is technically better than Hoyland. I know he's technically on the feet way better, but he just didn't do anything in this game. He didn't prove it this game. He didn't really do much. I'm one of the people that when United were losing, I'm like, put the ball in the box and Sesko will be there. He's 6'5". We've seen how high he jumps. We've seen how explosive and athletic he is. But today, they put Casemiro and Bruno were amazing today. They put so many balls in the box, and Sesko just wasn't there. He was near the edge of the box. He was not making the run. He was really his intensity. He had no intensity. There was one ball where Casemiro comes to the right, first time cross to the box, and Cisco's on the edge of the box. He's nowhere near the little goalkeeper box. He's nowhere near. He's not even between the center backs, and that's something that annoyed me because you're 6'5", explosive. Your header is one of your best attributes, and you're not there. You're not. He was on the edge of the box. There was another run where they were going down the left wing. I think it was Dorgu or someone was ran down. They're trying to cross the ball, and Sesko's on the edge of the box, like if he was Karim Benzema doing that, connecting with the players. But you're you're a goal scorer. You're meant to be the goal scorer that United has been looking for. Be in the areas like you're not a Benzema type of striker. You're not a Ekitike type of striker, a Mbappe type of striker. There's no reason for you to be when you're that high up. There's no reason for you to be linking up with Cunha or linking or just being on the edge of the box, being on the edge on the outside of the box. If you're there, then make the runs right away. I think it was Cunha. He was already like by the end of the line, by the byline. He was ready to cross, and Sesko was still on the edge of the box. It's just little things like that that I got annoyed at. That it just probably just wasn't his game. I rate Sesko very highly. I've said it multiple times, but I just truly think he had a terrible game from the first half to the second half. I'm not sure why he played the 90 minutes. I know Ruben Amorim doesn't trust Xerxes that much, but when you're having such a bad game like that, just bring on Xerxes, put Cunha in the striker role, bring in Mainu on the as a left 10. Cunha has done that playing that false nine like striker role. Switch it up a little bit. I've given Ruben Amorim his flowers these last couple of weeks, but I feel like today was he kind of held back a little bit. And I kind of understand. I'm not gonna lie because do I trust some of the substitutes to come in and change the game? Not really. The subs have came in multiple times. I know they need minutes to get their feet back, and they need to get their feet in the water to be able to swim. If you, yeah, that was a good one. But I looked at the bench and I'm like, who could change it? Maybe a Mason Mount. He has a good shot. Maybe Mainu could, dribble past a couple players and do something. But I'm like, you're not taking out Cunha. I wouldn't take out Mbuemo. I would have taken out Sesko for like a Xerxes or for Mainu. But other than that, you just can't take out Cunha and Mbuemo today. I think they were pretty solid. I think their intensity dropped for sure a little bit this game. But I want to talk about the man himself. I talked about him last week, but I got a haircut and I need another TikTok, so I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna talk about him again. Carlos Casimiro. Casimiro today was immense. He was so good. He was so good. This was a throwback Casimiro. He was so good. He'd come pick the ball from the defenders. His ball playing, his switch of play is very underrated. There were so many. Oh my God, Casemiro was immense today. Him and Bruno had a weaker game, but he was still a very solid game. But Casemiro, man, First, he gets the goal, and then the rest of the game, he wins his duels, he wins his headers. His ball playing was amazing today. His switch of play was amazing. He was an attacking threat throughout the whole time. He passed forward so many times. And Casemiro was just outstanding today. I know everyone's talking about Wharton, everyone's talking about Ellie Anderson, who was amazing today. And I'm thinking everyone's trying to do a Bruno and Warren. Everyone's trying to do Bruno Anderson. Everyone's trying to do Bruno Baleba. But what if you pair one of them with this Casemiro? Because this Casemiro is amazing. He's been playing amazing, and it wasn't just this game. He's been very good these past couple of weeks. Very good. But today was like a cherry on top. He was so good today. And then I started thinking, I'm like, everyone's trying to pair up Bruno with one of these. What if we pair up Casemiro with an Anderson? Because Anderson going forward is very good as well. With an Anderson or with the Warren, and have Casemiro run into the box with some headers, And I thought, I started imagining the combinations, because if this Casemiro stays like this for another until the end of his contract, let's say, imagine a Casemiro with the Anderson running, doing some of the attack work, or imagine him with the Warren, where Warren's more the controller of the pace, and he's the one running into the box, because we know Casemiro he's always been very good when it came to those corners, or when it came to set pieces. He's always been very good. So I started imagine a war in control of play with the ball, amazing on the ball, with Casemiro being the one defensively sound and doing the runs into the box to get a couple headers in there. Or we know he has a good shot as well. So imagine like a war in Casemiro. And imagine Casemiro Anderson. When Anderson is just amazing today. I want to talk about Anderson today. He was very good, very solid. He's one of last week when they played Brian. I thought Baleba would have an amazing performance, because when you face a team you want to play, you go all out for it. But Baleba didn't do that at all. He played worse than I think he did the game before that. But Anderson this game was amazing. I know he's been very good for a good amount of time, but today he was outstanding. Everything went through Anderson. His ball playing, his defensive work. Physically, he's an athlete. You can see his athletic build. He runs towards everything. And he was very, very good today. Igor Jesus was immense today. Everyone's talking about, Chris Wood with Deitch. Chris Wood with Deitch. Oh, they're going to meet up again. But if Igor Jesus keeps playing the way he's playing, he's going to keep putting in amazing performances, winning his headers, and he will score goals. Igor Jesus is a goal scorer. And yeah, he was very good today. Hudson Odoi was in bro. When Mazraoui did that foul on Hudson Odoi, kind of took him out the game, and that's why they made the sub. But Hudson Odoi, before that Mazraoui tackle, he's such a threat. He's so electric. He's one of those players that you look that could probably start for this Chelsea team right now. Who I think the game probably started a bit, but who cares? Who else? Murillo's defensive block was amazing, but defensively throughout the whole game he was very good. But that last second, the line defense was just amazing. Him and Milenkovic have been very good this game. I've been critical of Milenkovic these past couple of weeks, but it was under Postecoglou. And we know Postecoglou likes to be in the halfway line, and that's not Milenkovic's game. So I'll critique them, but I should have cut him some slack. But Murillo was amazing today. Who else was very good? They had a very good performance, Nottingham Forest, and I think you could see the defensive. Look, here's one thing. There was one play where Man United were about to be on the counter attack. I think it was Ahmad and Cunha. Cunha passes it to Ahmad out wide, and then Nottingham Forest is discipline right there, because Ahmad I think it was 2v2. It was Cunha and Ahmad, and they were running down the attack. And then the whole Nottingham Forest team comes down, and sometimes when defenders come back to defend on a counter attack, they don't defend it properly, right? But Cunha and Ahmad were on the attack, right? The whole of Nottingham Forest comes down and sets up perfectly to defend the attack. It was I love seeing that. You can see that's some Sean Dice tactics already, because Ahmad and Cunha were 2v2, I'm pretty sure. running down to defend, and the whole team comes back, perfectly defends the ball, perfectly defends the attack, and that was Sean Dyche written all over it. They set up well right after that, and it was such a good thing. It was such a good defense. Nottingham Forest played very good today. The first couple of minutes, yes, but Sean Dyche, you can see some imprints. You can see the balls into the box to Igor Jesus. That Igor Jesus won a lot of them. And yeah, I think it was I enjoyed watching this game. Amad Diallo with an amazing goal to get them back in the game, and that's one of the things I really like about this Ruben Amorim team right now is the mentality. They don't drop off too much. After the first goal, I don't think they mentally dropped off, but they were just slow to get back in. They were just like, I don't know what it was, but United got back in the game. United could have won it, but once again, I think the biggest headlights in this game should be how bad Benjamin Sesko was, because yes, he's young, yes, he's new to the Prem, but the chances he had, the bad ball control, we could have been 3-0 by first half if it wasn't for a couple Benjamin Sesko miscontrols. And yeah, I think overall very good game. Now I got to go back to watch and analyze Chelsea Tottenham. I probably want to do a video on it because it's genuinely boring. I'll probably do a couple more weeks. I'll probably do a Tottenham video because they have been pretty boring and pretty consistent but boring. Chelsea have been very inconsistent throughout the whole season. So I'll do a video on those soon if this game gets better then. But Manchester United lost the streak. Let's not overreact. I think next game is Tottenham, so we'll see how that goes. But solid game. I really enjoyed the game. I really did.